everyone has a story, but behind the story, there's another story. But then to add to all this, it's very important as an influencer. I say it's very, not just very, very, very important that we work with a team. Many people get frustrated working alone. And we're talking with Praveen, award-winning photographer, done such amazing photos. We're going to talk about that. But then my question to Praveen is, Praveen, I mean, it's nice to get these shots, but the topic today is the power behind a team.
Yeah.
Yes, one person gets the award, but there's a team behind it.
Yes.
In your experience as a communication director working in several projects on the media, how important is this team culture?
Ashwin, this is something which is very exciting for me, because this is an area that I've realized the importance of a team only lately, because I started my career as a freelancer, as a lone wolf. I used to travel all over the world alone, with multiple cameras, doing video and photo.
And that time we can't afford it also.
Couldn't. Back then it was that was my requirement. But now I have a team. I have a team of, not just a local team. I have a team here in India. I have a designer in the UK. I have a content creator in the US. I have a IT guy in South Africa. So it's a global team that I oversee. And
thanks to technology,
we can all come together. Just a Zoom meeting, and we can share ideas and things like that. So what's happened is, working with a team has actually helped me to be a better photographer, better communicator. So even now when we go on the field, it's not just me. I'm taking 2 other guys with me, one more videographer, one more photographer. And what we're able to do is, because of this, it releases me to be more creative. It gives me a little bit more space to look around. Otherwise, I'm like, look, I have to get these shots. I have this thing in my head. A lot of pressure when you're doing it solo. But when you do it as a team, I'm able to concentrate on things, and then I know my colleague, my team guys will be able to cover that. And there are a lot of regular things that you have to shoot. So I know one guy is covering that. Even wedding, if you look at wedding photographers, it'll be a team of 2, 3. When one guy is trying to capture the ring ceremony, there's another guy who's capturing the emotions of parents or relatives, and they're like, all teary-eyed and looking. So there's one photographer capturing that, but the other photographer is doing the mundane stuff, which is capturing the ring exchange. And in the same way, a team complements your work. A team gets, something better out of you as a professional, right? It's very important. I think a lot of creatives I've spoken to, Ashwin, I think they're very... they want to do things all by themselves. They want to work by themselves. Why? Because they don't want to collaborate. I teach my students this, no to competition, yes to collaboration. It's not a competition, because I think as a creative, everything we look at is like a competition. I don't want to partner with him because he might steal my idea. I don't want to partner with him because, he might get the recognition then. So I think if we can just keep that aside and start collaborating, start partnering with different creatives, different artists, different talents even. If I'm a photographer and you're a filmmaker, why don't we do something together?
Exactly.
If you're a content writer and, if you're a makeup artist, how can we come together, right? You have to keep thinking about how to collaborate with different people so that the best comes out.
Another angle, as you're saying, we also have to decide in a way, are you running a 100 meters dash or a marathon?
Yep.
See, when you're running a 100 meters dash, it's thrust on you.
Correct.
But then the marathon, it's a long, So I think it's a huge difference. Many try to run 100 meters. But that becomes a fatigue. So I think what you're saying, Praveen, is it's so important that everyone watching this needs to understand the value of another individual who's good in something else. And I might not be a caption writer, but by having a caption writer or by using the tools, it's helping me. So that becomes a team.
Absolutely.
I may not be a good photographer, I may be a good speaker. But by hiring a photographer, it changes your perspective so much.
Changes your game. Even with here at Kids for the Kingdom, at my organization, the team brings in so much of value. Like so many elements. We spoke about captions, we spoke about social media marketing, all that I'm not good at. I mean, I know that. I know how to use social media. I know what to do. But you see, that's not my expertise.
Exactly.
Right? I'm not a filmmaker. I'm not an editor, right? But I know all the skills, but that doesn't mean I'm a pro at it.
Correct.
If you give me Premiere, I know how to edit a video. If you give me a video camera, I know how to shoot a film. But, when I work with a filmmaker, he comes to my table bringing his expertise.
Exactly.
When I work with a content creator, she comes with her expertise. A designer, she comes with her expertise. Things that I was not able to see when I have another set of eyes, they're able to see what I missed.
Exactly.
And that's why I think team is very important.
Yeah.
I can give you another.
Yeah, there's a lot of magazines here.
Yes.
And friends, we are showing you some photographs of what Praveen has done. But I think the beautiful pictures, as you see these pictures, you'll be wondering, I'm wondering, what good angles, what good shot. But the context is, Praveen, you did one part.
Yes.
I want the audience to understand what your team did.
Yeah. So Ashwin, we recently produced a book. It is our 25th year at Kids for the Kingdom. So we released this book called Transforming Lives. And this book has a lot of images that I've shot around the world. And this was a teamwork. Now, I'm the photographer. I probably brought all the visuals. But then we had a script writer. All the stories, all the content was written by another person. There was a designer, and my designer who's in the UK. But some of the images she took, and I never thought, Ashwin, I'll be very honest with you, I never thought this image can make it into a book. Or even this layout. For example, there's an image of a mother and a daughter walking back from school.
Picture.
Yeah, I'm hiding behind a tree and I know I've got this shot. It's actually a bigger shot. But the way she's cropped it and made it into a center spread, when you open that image, it just stands out because of the lighting. See, I want my viewer to just go to the mother and daughter. I took that photo. It's a bigger, larger photo, but the way my editor, my designer has brought it in, caved it in and curated it is so beautiful.
And the mother's face communicates something.
The daughter's face communicates something,
Very powerful.
And I think that's the thing, right? I'm not a designer. I don't know layouts. I don't know how images speak.
But your team member knows.
But my team knows. And she's a professional, so she knows. So when I all I did is I took my photos, put it in a drive, I said, you take it.
And she's not a photographer.
She's not a photographer.
She's not come to the field.
Yes.
But look at the collaboration.
Yes. That's the beautiful thing. And then with the script writer, and then we used a printer, who's good at what he does. He brought all the creative ideas. He said, sir, why don't we add this sheet to make the photo better? So there's a light, we call it butter sheet, right? That sheet makes it, it's like a window. It's like a glazed image. And then when you turn, then the real image pops out. So a lot of collaboration. So this book, I think, is a good example of how it's not just one person. You need to work with professionals. You need to work with industry people who know their industry best. And then when you bring all these heads together, then we're able to produce a book that is absolutely world class.
Praveen, I want you to I'm going to give you a caption, and I'm going to ask you, the world viewers got an understanding on this caption, but as people who are trying to help people, how do you see this caption? The caption is, the worker is more important than the work.
Yes.
I was doing a podcast content program with a very senior person who has done a lot of work, in writing and influencing people with the word of God. And he made this caption. And this caption just means so much. Today we live in a world which is hire and fire.
Yes.
If you're not good, you're fired. If you're not on deadline, you're fired. All that is fine. But then the worker is more important than the work. How do you see this caption?
I believe in that statement. If you're an entrepreneur or if you're a head of an organization, and if you have somebody in your team who has that talent, who has that expertise, invest in him. I would say go all out and invest in him. Upscale him, give him all the tools necessary. Here in India, we have this bad culture of just using people for their work and trying to underpay or, in the name of, whatever, just do it freely. It's a better exposure for you. I think if you have somebody in your team or you yourself, or somebody in your circle is gifted with this, invest. Because I'll tell you, 20 years ago, somebody invested in me. I'm a nobody. I come from a simple background from a city in Chennai. Now I'm working with the big guys in the world, right? I'm traveling. And like I told you my story, right? I'm able to, all that is because 20 years ago, somebody saw the potential and they said, I'm going to invest in this guy. And, I'm going to give him all the tools necessary, give him the time and the patience to grow. Now I'm able to be a world-class photographer because way back somebody said, I see something. So if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a leader, if you're a pastor, if you're some person with any kind of influence, if you see something in somebody, invest and give them the space.
Also, Praveen, having said that, in a way, because the world is like that, I use the word hire and fire and all. But then what the world is also telling us is be good at what you are.
Yes.
From the team side, hey, my boss understands me. He is giving me opportunity. How do I upscale? So he should also have the drive.
Yes, absolutely.
So
it's
now
a two-way street.
It's a two-way. That's exactly. So one is the as a team leader what you do, and as a team member what do I do?
Yes.
You know,
Yes. Yeah.
so when I see these books, when I see your photographs,
Yeah.
I can see the value of a team.
Yes.
You know, these
Yeah.
are powerful images.
Yeah.
But behind the image is a story.
Yes.
And behind the story is a team.
Yes, yes. I think we'll have to change that statement a little bit. The workers are more important than the work. You know, it's not just a person, right? It's a team. And when we collaborate together, right? And I think it's also like, you know, we are so grateful for what we do. Like you and I said, you know, in the beginning, you know, we are so passionate. We're so grateful that, you know, we have this opportunity to be able to do something that we are passionate about. I'm excited to go to work.
Yes.
I don't know how many people can say that, or how many that are watching are able to say, I'm excited to go to work on a Monday. I am, because I love what I do.
Yeah.
And I think that reflects, you know, because somebody invested in me, I'm grateful, and I want to do my best so that they can, you know, I can continue to grow and give back. Give back. I think there's a sort of a attitude in me that I've grown. Okay, you've recognized what I've done, right? And I want to do my best to bring it to the table.
Right. These last 9 episodes, this is the 10th episode.
Yes.
You know, we've been talking about telling the story through the lens.
Yeah.
And, you know, every bit of what you spoke communicates a story.
Yeah.
And your pictures tell it all. And, I mean, viewers are seeing those pictures and images. But then what I like in this whole 10 episodes is the fact that, you know, you are who you are. And we are here, not here to show how big we are, but we are here to help people.
Yes.
And our story should be there to help people.
Yeah.
So in other words, I come back to the statement which I earlier made. If you are solving somebody's problem, you are a creative person.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because this 10-part series will take us through a journey of how a simple young boy in Chennai from a simple family could come to an international platform and win awards in the passion which God has given. So, but it takes a journey.
It is a journey.
You know. So your closing comments for our viewers.
Yes, I think you are a unique storyteller. Right? God has given you a gift. You're unique. You're not like anybody else, and you have to work on it. You have to really develop that story. You know, don't be shy. Don't be afraid of what the naysayers and you know the people around you. You've got to be confident. I think the key is confidence. Ashwin. You know, a lot of kids I've seen, they're so talented, but they lack that confidence. They're insecure about their talent. You know, they're shy about their talent. They're just so fearful about what people may say, or they compare themselves with other people. Sometimes people look at my image and say, oh, I can never be like him. You know, yes, I've grown, you know, over the years. If you've seen my photos 20 years ago, you know, you wouldn't have called me for this episode. But I've grown over the years, right? So I think what I'm trying to, do is encourage you. If you're watching this episode and, you know, there's a reason why you've been drawn to this episode.
Right.
There is something in you that's made you watch this 10 episodes, right? So which means there's something that God's doing. So use that. Be confident. Tell the world, because that story I can't tell, Ashwin can't tell, only you can tell.
That's amazing. And then don't let other people's opinion spoil your goal.
Yeah.
Because everybody's got an opinion.
Yes.
Pursue what you are called for and pursue it with the spirit of excellence,
Yes.
the spirit of passion, with the spirit of excitement. That's what I
that's
see as
the
a good
key.
takeaway.
And work hard.
Work hard.
That's the key.
Yeah.
You know, you can't just, you know, these things don't come onto your lap.
Correct.
You've got to work hard at it. And if there's any young people, you know, watching this, that's the essence. Is you've got to work hard. You've got to put in the labor.
Yes.
And then the blessings will come later.
Yeah. Thank you, Praveen. It's been a pleasure talking to you. These 10 episodes were huge takeaways. And this whole context of this YouTube is Let's Talk Influence. And all these 10 episodes, we're just not talking influence, we're talking life.
Yeah.
And my classic statement, which I always like, is everyone is more than a conqueror.
Yes.
You know, everyone is more than a conqueror, because sometimes people's opinion will just tell us that you can't make it, you can't do this, you can't, you know, and in your seeing from your own life, you believed in what you had, you used what you had, and you worked on it, and the rest God did it. And Praveen, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Thank you. I'm looking forward to have another set of series sometime later. We'll talk about it later. But I definitely want to do some more dive deep into some topics, more technical from what viewers are responding. So it's important that they give us feedback.
Yes, absolutely.
Based on that feedback, we'll do something more. But it's been a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much for taking the time to be with us in this episode called Let's Talk Influence and telling the story through the lens. Thank you, Praveen.
Thank you, Ashwin.